Before starting this video, there is a disclaimer. This video is purely informative and consumption of cocaine is not at all promoted. Cocaine is a stimulant. That means it affects the central nervous system. Like other stimulants, cocaine gives you an energy surge. That in turn boosts your alertness, leaving you feeling a high from the drug. Other common short-term effects of cocaine include a feeling of jitters or restlessness, irritability, paranoia, decreased appetite, a temporary feeling of intense happiness or pleasure. Cocaine can have long-term side effects too, especially after prolonged habitual use. Long-term ways cocaine can affect the brain include headaches, extreme weight loss, loss of smell olfactory function, mood swings, seizures, movement disorders including Parkinson's disease, severe paranoia, auditory hallucinations, irregular heartbeat, death by overdose. Most short-term side effects of cocaine wear off within a day or two, but long-term side effects can be permanent. Sometimes, the long-term side effects of cocaine use are a sign of brain damage. Cocaine increases the amount of a chemical called dopamine in your brain. Dopamine naturally occurs in your brain. Small doses of dopamine travel through your brain cells to indicate pleasure or satisfaction. When you're using cocaine, dopamine floods your brain cells, but then it doesn't have anywhere else to go. This excess dopamine blocks your brain cells from communicating with one another. Over time, cocaine causes your brain to become less sensitive to dopamine. That means larger amounts of cocaine are necessary to produce the same effects of a dopamine high. Over time, flooding your brain with dopamine can damage the structure of the brain. That's why heavy cocaine use can lead to seizure disorders and other neurological conditions. Cocaine use slows the glucose metabolism in your brain as well. That can cause the neurons in your brain to work more slowly or begin to die off. A 2016 study in the brain of mice gave more insight into this phenomenon. When the brain's cleanup processes are sped up or disrupted from cocaine, brain cells are essentially thrown out. Cocaine damages your brain in other ways too. Since cocaine causes your blood vessels to narrow, your heart has to work harder to pump blood to your brain. This stresses your cardiovascular system. It can cause your heart rate to fall out of rhythm. It can also starve your brain of the blood it needs, which kills brain cells. The impact of cocaine in your brain cells becomes even more significant as you age. The typical brain loses 1.69 milliliters of gray matter each year as part of the aging process. People who regularly use cocaine lose more than twice that in a year, according to a 2012 study. Cocaine use in young adults also changes the shape of neurons and synapses as the developing brain tries to protect itself, according to research from 2009. Your brain may be able to recover from the effects of cocaine use. The amount of normal cognition you regain will vary depending on several factors, like how long you use cocaine, how much you use each time, and your individual brain chemistry. A small 2014 study found that as long as cocaine use was moderate and recovery began within 1 year, brain damage from cocaine use was at least partially reversible. And a 2014 review suggests many of the long-term cognitive effects of cocaine use are actually connected to withdrawal from cocaine. This seemed to imply that 5 months without cocaine would restore much of what was lost in terms of brain function. There are different treatment options available for people who need help stopping cocaine use. Cognitive behavioral therapy, outpatient and inpatient treatment, drug-free communities, and 12-step programs such as Cocaine Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous are all options. There's currently no medication that treats cocaine addiction, but sometimes doctors prescribe drugs off-label to treat it. Disulfiram or anti-abuse is one such medication. If you reach out to your doctor about your cocaine use, they will start by asking you questions about your lifestyle, habits, usage, and dosage. It's important to be straightforward and honest so you can get the right treatment. Sometimes a health event such as a seizure or stroke will prompt a doctor to bring up the possibility of cocaine addiction to you if you also have other symptoms. Your doctor may use a drug test to confirm cocaine use. A urine drug may only test positive for cocaine for about 4 days after last use. But the longer you've been using cocaine, the more it can accumulate in your body, and the longer it takes to metabolize. If a health event prompted your visit to your doctor, they recommend treatment options and help supervise your withdrawal once you're stable. Cocaine withdrawal should always be supervised by a medical professional. If you liked the video, please give it a like, share, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Please follow me also on Facebook and Instagram. That would help me a lot. Thank you very much and see you next time.